Hello everyone. Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin are set to meet in Alaska, but the key figure who should be there won't be Volodymyr Zelensky, whose country's fate is on the line. In this video, we'll be upfront and dive deep into how a nation's destiny could be shaped at a single table. We'll explore how Russia might win this war and what changes could ripple across the globe if they do. First off, Trump has openly stated that any potential peace deal could involve territorial adjustments. In his own words, some territorial exchanges could be in the best interest of both sides. This might sound calm, but it's setting off alarm bells in Europe. They're firmly against handing over land to an aggressor like Russia. And no, it's not because they love Ukraine so much. The reason is clear. If Russia has managed to seize Ukraine's most strategic points in just 3 years and can legitimize it diplomatically, what's stopping them from eyeing other regions next? Let's rewind to a few months ago when Trump, during a White House meeting, publicly berated Zelensky. He said, "Your hand is weak. Either you agree to a deal, or we're out." In plain terms, he delivered an ultimatum: accept our terms, or you're on your own. Zelensky didn't back down, which is why he's not at the table today. The Alaska meeting, requested by Putin, is set up as a bilateral discussion. For Kyiv, this is a harsh diplomatic snub. Still, Ukraine is treading carefully. Desperate for us support, they've signaled readiness to join peace talks as soon as possible. But their red line is clear. A just and lasting peace cannot mean legitimizing territories taken by force. An unjust peace is simply an invitation to the next war. Given the balance of power, Zelensky's leverage is limited. Continuing the war requires Western support, but Washington wants a quick resolution. This dilemma is pushing Kyiv to lean even more on Europe. Meanwhile, Europe is arming itself at a frantic pace. Between 2021 and 2024, EU defense spending surged by over 30%, with annual increases at their fastest since the Cold War. Poland leads the pack, allocating a staggering 4.2% of its GDP to defense, an amount that suggests they're acting as if they're already at war. Europe is genuinely militarizing. So, why is Trump doing this? Weren't we taught that Russia and America are sworn enemies, locked in a Cold War-style power struggle? Not quite. Trump is reaping massive benefits both domestically and internationally. For one, he'll be remembered as the leader who ended wars. He'll say, "I resolved the Armenia-Azerbaijan conflict. I ended the Russia-Ukraine war. I sent B-2 bombers to stop the war in Iran, a peacemaker." The confidence this builds with the American public is undeniable. But that's not all. Trump is pushing Europe to arm itself. His message is clear: I'm not behind you anymore. Either arm yourselves and learn to protect your own, or my old enemy now, my friend Russia, will come knocking. And think about it from an American taxpayer's perspective. Your taxes are funding the Ukraine war. If Trump ends it and cuts the billions in aid, that burden disappears. Plus, building healthy relations with a power like Russia is far more profitable than with Ukraine. Trump is making textbook moves in foreign policy moves that defy America's traditional approach. He doesn't seem to care about that. Now, let's return to the territorial issue. What happens if land is given up? It's being sold as the fastest way to stop the bloodshed. But how realistic is that? History warns us, when an aggressor is rewarded with territorial gains, they usually come back for more. There are countless examples. If Ukrainians give up land today, they'll only fuel Russia's appetite. The feeding the beast analogy isn't empty. A brief calm might follow, but it'll stoke greater ambition. Ukraine has already experienced a frozen conflict. Post-2014 Minsk agreements were repeatedly violated. Moscow uses ceasefires as a breather before resuming its gains. Let's break down what Putin stands to gain strategically in 7 points. Picture the map. Crimea corridor. By connecting Crimea to the mainland via land, Russia secures its supply lines, reducing reliance on the Kerch Bridge and creating alternatives. Azov Sea control. With Mariupol and Berjansk ports, Russia turns the Sea of Azov into an internal lake, controlling trade and military movements. Water and energy leverage, controlling the North Crimea Canal and Zaporizhia nuclear power plant. Russia turns water and electricity into bargaining chips. Donbas industry, coal, steel, chemicals, and minerals in the region weaken Ukraine's economic heart. A separate deal was even made on this. Shale gas fields. By controlling areas like Sloviansk and Kramatorsk, Russia prevents Ukraine from tapping its shale gas, keeping it dependent on Russian gas. Defense buffer. A buffer zone along the border pushes Ukraine's artillery and drones out of range of Russia's Rostov-Taganrog line. Symbolic and political win. Putin can sell these gains to his domestic audience as a historic victory, bolstering the Russian world narrative. Here's what we need to remember. This war doesn't exist in a vacuum. A handshake or lack thereof in Alaska could send shockwaves from the Taiwan Strait to Warsaw. This is a global chessboard, where a move in one corner changes the entire game. Right now, that corner is Alaska. Yet, neither Zelensky nor Ukraine is at the table. Even though their fate hangs in the balance, Zelensky may talk tough, saying never to territorial concessions, but reality tells a different story. He can't exactly say, sure, we'll give up land. We'll see what comes out of the Alaska talks, and discuss it here again. We also made a great video about Trump's historic Armenia-Azerbaijan deal. If you haven't seen it, check it out. That's all for now. Don't forget to subscribe. Share your thoughts and opinions in the comments. Let's discuss.